Let's talk to Ricardo Evangelista. He is from ActivTrades. Very good morning to you, Ricardo.
Good morning, Nick.
I've known you for a couple of years, and I still think I get your surname wrong, but nevertheless, hopefully...
No, that was quite good, actually.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Right, let's talk about foreign exchange. The dollar. Lots going on, whether it's technical, fundamental, political. In terms of the clients at the moment, okay, is everyone aggressively short the dollar?
Well, there's a degree of weariness that wasn't there, say, a year ago. There's several reasons for this. So there's the political climate. There's some what some would perceive as being erratic decision maker by the people at the top. There's also the fiscal issue. So there's been a tax reform, a change in tax law in the US, which some people think may contribute to increase the deficit. And that historically has had an impact on the dollar and has weakened the dollar. There's the commercial war looming in the horizon at the moment with the imposing of tariffs on imports. We've already seen that on steel and aluminium. And I think there's a hint that today or tomorrow we'll hear more about it and the widening of these restrictions on imports targeting mainly China, which will focus on intellectual property, etc. So the long and short of this is that the possibilities of global trading being affected are now higher than they were before, and that is also having an impact on the dollar. We saw that clearly yesterday, where the Fed announced, Jay Powell announced an increase in the interest rate. However, this increase failed to support the dollar and in fact had the opposite effect. Why? Because the tone of the speech wasn't very positive. So many investors had already, who had already factored in this raise, it was very much in the cards, were expecting signals that would indicate that this year we could potentially have 4 interest rate rises. However, that didn't occur at all. And I think that was quite symptomatic of the current environment. So people are not very confident, even though the economy is growing, unemployment is going down, wages are growing finally as well. People are not confident that the dollar will be a good instrument for them to invest on. Okay, so moving on to the euro, what are your thoughts on the euro? Well, the euro is not moving much at the moment. Today will be an interesting day. We'll have some announcements, mainly the German business sentiment index, which could provide some support to the euro if it comes out better than expected. So most analysts are expecting it to come up below the last figures that were published. Should that not be the case, we can see the euro getting terrain against the other major currencies. However, that is not so likely to happen, so probably nothing is going to happen and the euro will remain pretty much as it is at the moment.
At these sort of levels. So the million-dollar question, the Great British Pound, is it great at the moment? Obviously this 140 area of the a round number, psychological resistance,
yes,
option barriers, I've heard, all sorts of things. But if you look at the longer-term trend, it's just making a series of higher highs and higher lows, which is bullish technically, isn't it?
Yes, I would say that the Great British Pound is greater now than it was a while ago. We've had some political good news recently. A positive tone came out last week regarding the post-Brexit. So there will be a period of adjustments that will last until the end of 2020. Looks like a hard Brexit. So the cliff edge sort of Brexit has been avoided for now. Let's see.
For now, I like that.
There's already some dissent, mainly focusing on fishing rights, even though fishing only represents 0.00 something of the economic output of the UK, but still very voiceful. There's some
people have very passionate views about
Yes,
fishing
and
industry, don't
also it's interesting because there are some key seats which are held by Tory MPs in Scotland and in England as well, which pretty much depends on the attitude towards defending fishing rights. So we could see that something as small in terms of of the impact it has on the actual economic output could have a major impact from the political angle and derail the whole thing. So we'll wait and see on that. But yes, some positive news on the political side. Also, yesterday we had very positive news with wage growth. So it's looking good. Today we'll have some retail news as well, and most importantly, the Financial Committee of the Bank of England will meet again, and there will be a speech afterwards, and investors will be watching with attention to see if there is a hint of interest rates in May. Should that come about, then we'll see that psychological barrier of 140.
Onward and upward.
Yes, indeed.
So final thoughts in terms of the trading community, are they all struggling at the moment?
Well, no, actually, we're seeing very good volumes,
right.
And I think our peers are also seeing very good volumes. We've had a very good year last year, and the first quarter is good. There is some, I think we touched on this a while back, there is some turbulence because we're having to handle all these changes in regulation with MiFID and ESMA and all of that. But overall, I think trading is going well, and if there's no volatility, there's no opportunities for traders to invest in the market. So I think it's good at the moment.
On that note, Ricardo, always lovely to see you.
Likewise.
See you very soon.
Thank you very much.